Pedraza has known about this day for a while, so have the Buckeyes, and it's here. Pedraza and Penn State against Ohio State, underway from Rec Hall. And Jess Merzick with the first swing, that's long. Buckeyes draw first blood. We talked to Jen Flynn Oldenburg today at Pass and Serve. She said, it's just weird. I knew this day was coming. It's going to be strange. We'll see how it plays out.
I think both Mac also understand that it's a little weird, but they'll be fine. They'll get adjusted by the first couple points of the match.
Lauren Murphy, one of the freshmen coming in from Round Rock, Texas with the serve. And now the dig in the back to the outside. Emily Londot leads the Big Ten in kills per set with a swing. And Penn State finding success there. Merzick, again, coaching change at Michigan last year, so she's made the shift here to Penn State and been huge for the Nittany Lions.
She was a huge impact for Michigan. I remember playing against her and how she was unstoppable on the right side, and her just being able to hit from pin to pin and hit seams that I've never seen before. It's awesome.
Riley Rader, one of the senior leaders, along with Londot, senior from Louisville, Kentucky, out of the middle spot, coming off a 13-kill performance, season high for her in Ohio State's win at Rutgers last night in 4. Penn State here at home survived in 5 against Indiana.
It was a fun match to just learn on how Indiana keeps growing. Jen wasn't surprised about them going to a 5th setter and how much competition they've been having against other teams. Indiana is really fighting for these wins and for these games.
Good serve there from Rader. Alertly, Angelina Stark had that first contact at a ball that looked like an ace to keep Penn State in it. Now the put away up front here for Ohio State.
Being able to self-cover as well, to hit from behind, it's hard for a middle to cover herself when a ball is coming right back. So for her to just dump it right over is super easy.
Pedraza running the middle. She did that so effectively throughout her Ohio State career, linking there with Allie Holland.
We have noticed with a lot of programs in the Big Ten on how they're really using middles and the essential to getting them into their offense to really spread out the block. Middles are so fast, and Mac has finally connected with her middles and the tempo of the sets between one another.
Maddie Bilanovic, senior from Independence, Ohio. A lot of players on different sides of this rivalry, from where they grew up to where they're playing. Again, great serve, not that time, into the net. So the quick side out for the Buckeyes, and the 4-2 advantage.
So we are going to see a serving style this match, because you have great defensive players in the back row, and you also have offense players in the pins passing. So you have to make sure that your seams and serving is very smart.
Tuman will author this one. Penn State's been solid in the serve receive of late. They've been tough to ace. They've given up the fewest aces in the league this year, and now again doing damage at the net.
A little bit of late reaction from Londot, but when you're off the net like that, you have to be ready for weird junk balls like that for her to be able to use it to her advantage, manage the ball, and create a nice, easy tempo for her to hit off of.
And that's Merzick with her second kill, now serving. Overpass there, but into the net, Stark. And the point goes to Ohio State.
Yeah, Ben, I'm right here talking to you. Can you hear me?
So Emily Londot, again, one of the leaders of this Buckeye group. Again, they went through that struggle with the arduous schedule they endured in non-conference, and she's kind of rallied them around and picking things up. Pedraza to Merzick in the middle, and the hot hand right now coming off a 19-kill performance on 49 swings to lead the way for Penn State in its win against the Hoosiers just about 24 hours ago.
For Mac to be able to set a ball off the net like that and to feed Jess Merzick, it's that trust that you're seeing and the build that they trust that they have been building since preseason.
And Pedraza said it's taken time. Tuman running the middle there and shut down for Penn State. Again, the Nittany Lions numbers, Pedraza's numbers, elevated as the season's gone on. They've had more time together. For Ohio State, will be curious tonight. Mia Tuman coming off an ankle injury about 10 days ago on Big Ten Network in a home loss against Wisconsin, third set. Turned an ankle and didn't return. Didn't play the last match last weekend against Maryland. Last night came off the bench in the third set to serve, then kind of stayed in, finished the match setting in the win on the road at Rutgers, and now back into the starting lineup tonight to try to get her rhythm again with all of her hitters.
Yes, as an ankle injury, you have to be patient with that. As a college athlete, you have such a long season with Ohio State, so you have to take your time, manage your body, and manage your games.
Well, Merzick is dialed in right away. Already her fourth kill has delivered 4 of the 6 points here for Penn State.
Jess Merzick doesn't hit a very high ball. She's just a very springy player. Her arm swing is so fast, so it's really, really hard to read off of.
Two-time first-team All-Big Ten performer at Michigan. And here's Pedraza serving. Played by Londa. Tip of the net, and that'll work. It's down for the Buckeyes.
With Ohio State in their middles, I've always had trouble reading their balls because they know how to dump and tip perfectly over the block and right in front of the defense in the back row. So it's always been a difficulty for me and obviously other players in the Big Ten to read off of that.
Second kill for Raider. Buckeyes by 1. Big swing there from Cameron Hanna. Again, she was playing on the left side to start the season, flipped to the right side the last week in a non-conference, and Penn State hasn't lost since. Against 7 straight wins. Been key part of the kind of shuffling for Penn State to get its offense on track.
Hannah has really increased her numbers over the past few matches, so she must have been working really hard in practice to get that play.
Taylor Trammell with easy pickings on the inside. Second year at Penn State after starting her career at Purdue. And the Nittany Lions jump ahead. Still on the serve of Stark. Tip over from Londa. Down the line, rip from Hanna, handled by the Buckeyes. Out of the back row, Londa will take a cut. Good coverage from Ohio State. Nice back set there from the libero, Jillian Grimes. Penn State looking for hands. None there. Point Ohio State.
For Ohio State to get that point as well, they really had patience. It was a little bit hesitant with the first ball, but they managed the game. They just need to trust each other, especially with these first couple points in the match.
Murphy. Middle for Trammell. Too good. That looks a lot like it did last weekend on the road at Minnesota. 16 kills on 20 swings, hitting 800. That's living for a middle, right?
I know, right? For her to just be available and for her to kill it, every single ball that she was getting, is awesome to see. So hopefully a little bit less in the net this match, but you know she's going to manage.
Coming back from the season-ending left foot injury at Maryland last year. Been a key piece for Penn State this season. And that's put down. Raider continuing to be effective in the middle.
Raider is a very effective player overall. She's not super fast, but she can find the seams, and her hang time overall for her to wait patiently and really get up and attack the very tip of the ball and the tip of the block is so impressive.
So Raider kind of shouldering the load right now. Again, Londot, Big Ten kill leader, does not have one yet on 3 swings, and Penn State able to counter with that tough angle shot that gets down.
I love to see a middle versus middle to see who can score the most before they have to rotate off the court.
Trammell with another, her second. As you look at Londot, senior, close to 5 kills per set. It's best in the conference, top 10 of the country. Pedraza with the dig. So Grimes puts it up, and Trammell tooling the block. Or excuse me, Hanna tooling the block.
Usually we see balls like that when you try to get the setter out of system. So you hit towards her, and then you luckily have a DS that's going to bail out the ball to the pin and give you more time. But when you have a good ball like that, it's hard to stop.
Cross court for Londot. That was sweet. Beautiful set from the freshman, right in the right spot for Londot. Again, she's shifted too, working with a new younger setter, and she moved from opposite the right side back to the left, and all the adjustments that go into that.
And she's doing what she needs to do to adjust as well. She's just a young stud that is learning how to manage an intense game. So to see her grow as such a adult athlete is awesome.
Raider just runs out of real estate in front of the Nittany Lion faithful here at Rec Hall, and we're even again at 11.
With the student section right next to you, so to be away on the road and to be ready for a pass and serve receive, and you hear the student section saying your first and last name and where you're from, I'm like, how am I supposed to stay focused during that?
You get roll called a lot?
Yes, they found our manager's number. I was like, how do you guys, they're FBI agents, we promise.
Grimes laying out, but Tumen calling her own number and gets that one to the floor. Again, resourceful youngsters here.
Very resourceful.
There they
Education coming in handy.
Loud and proud here as usual. Fired up to see Penn State try to continue this winning streak and make it 8 straight. Pedraza for Mirza. And first team All Big Ten to first team All Big Ten for different teams last year. Now on the same side for Penn State. They'll go again. The kick stays in. How about that heady play? It doesn't lead to the point, but look at that move. Sydney Taylor's been a jack of all trades this year for Ohio State.
An insane ball as well. No matter what, if the ball touches your body and it gets off the ground, that counts. So you have to keep on going. Crazy plays like this in volleyball is the best to see.
Junior from Clintonville, Ohio at 5'9", started the year as the libero, has also seen time at outside hitter at 5'9" in the Big Ten. She played it in high school, kind of whatever Jen Flynn Oldenburg's needed from her team this year at various points. Tumen. Pedraza with first contact. The swing there for Alexa Markley, denied up front by the block from Ohio State. First of the match for the Buckeyes.
A very patient ball as well. When you see that the outside hitters are hitting majority of the balls, you just have to wait, be patient, because you know where the ball is going to go while Mac Pedraza's on the move that way.
Ohio State hitting at 294 thus far, 227 for Penn State. Londot serve just wide. Each team now with a service error, none in the ace category to this point. And 13 all, kind of back and forth, what you would expect from this rivalry. You mentioned 5 setters in both meetings last year, including here at Rec Hall when it was 17-15, Ohio State stealing it in the 5th. Markley gets on the board. Sophomore from Peachtree City, Georgia. All Big Ten freshman team selection last year. Had 7 kills last night against Indiana.
She's such a young player, but she's really learned how to contribute with a team filled with so many veterans. So for her to step up and learn from her teammates is awesome.
That serve long.
With Penn State serving targets this morning, they were definitely practicing different zones and what areas to go for. So for them to really challenge the court and to challenge the space is important for them to continue to just work on their serve and their serve receive.
Middle there, Trammell. Tumen laying out, so Londot just lets it fly from the back row. Scramble here from Ohio State. And again, Tumen trying to get it again and can't. And the Nittany Lions head to the first break here, up by a point. Good stuff, as you would expect, between the simple story is the 5 seniors from last year, including Mac Pedraza, that helped lead Ohio State to the national or to the regional final, the Elite Eight of the NCAA tournament. They all had COVID bonus seasons of eligibility.
Yes.
they had nowhere to play because Jen Flynn Oldberg made the tough decision to kind of commit to the 5 freshmen coming in to give the scholarship money to them. So those other 5, maybe 1 or 2 could have stayed, but they kind of wanted to stay together. So they've all kind of crisscrossed the country, 2 in conference, in Pedraza to Penn State. Kylie Murr, we saw last night playing for Minnesota, and the others in good programs making impacts. But again, it was a no-win situation, but everybody kind of has seemed to handle it pretty well. And I like what Jen Flynn Oldberg said. They're Buckeyes for life. We just loaned them out for a while.
Yes, it's very generous of Coach Jen to really commit to her freshmen, because usually right now we're seeing with athletics is so many grads in COVID years just staying alive and taking, I guess, the years away from the freshmen. So to see coaches commit to the younger generation is awesome, and to see, you know, other players to go to other conferences and continue to compete is great.
See the layout here by Sarah Sue Morbitzer, couldn't quite get there. Michelle Prater, our down official on it, said it was down. Jen Flynn Oldberg coming over. Not sure if she's going to think about the challenge. Just think a little chat there as they're getting the wetness off the floor. Christian Tajak is our up official tonight. Again, already 10 ties, 3 lead changes to this point in this matchup. Terrific. Tumen for Londot. Out of the back row. And there's a cracking shot off the right arm of Cameron Hannah.
Let's see if Ohio State can continue to commit to Hannah at this point. She's starting to hit those line shots really well, and with Merzick also on the outside, so you have a split block and nowhere to go, so you have to make a quick decision to read the ball well.
See Hannah good for about 3 kills per team, and Rader trying to slide around there, just mistimed it. And Penn State suddenly extending its lead to 3, and a timeout taken here by the Buckeyes. More action to come from Happy Valley in a moment. Mac Pedraza, we talked to her today at Pass and Serve, and she said, you know what? It was kind of harder than I expected to get everybody on the same page at a new place. It's just taken time. Katie Schumacher called these kind of preached patience, and it's paid off right now as this group played pretty well here the last few weeks.
It definitely is, but it shows that the maturity of all of these players on how they want to learn is the meaning of transfers. You are going into a new program with an old program under your belt and just trying to find ways to connect and grow the program even more.
Well, after the kill from Londot, and State with Pedraza, back set for Hannah in a tough angle, can't keep it in, and back-to-back points out of the timeout for the Buckeyes.
Out of the timeout is a very smart move from Coach Jen to call a timeout, regroup the team, make some changes, calm everything down. It is the first set, and push to get a tie.
Lauren Murphy, serve off the tape, handled by Penn State. And down the line, no stopping that. Merzick, little resistance up front, and the kill.
I have yet to see Merzick get blocked this entire season personally. She just knows how to hit across the block and finding seams and really challenging the defense in the back row, making them move left and right. It's great.
And working against the setter, Tumen, standing at just 6 feet. Merzick going right down the line past her. Ohio State able to work off hands to get that point back and make it a 1-point set.
London doesn't really have much speed to her game. She has a heavy arm, so she doesn't need too much to do. She goes slow to fast. She uses her entire body to tool off the block. So it's not a fast game, but it's a smart game.
And she's converted here when the Buckeyes have needed her at the end of the set. 2 of her 3 kills in the opening set. And now, big block up front for the Buckeyes.
I can take part blame of that. I did mention it, but Merzick will find a way.
Yeah. And then finally shut down. Eloise Brandowie, another of the freshman contingent, right from Columbus, Bishop Hartley High School, checking in. And a service error. It's deep from the Buckeyes. Riley Rader can't put it in. She'll sub out. Sydney Taylor coming on. Penn State trying to drag this one across the finish line in the opening set at 25.
A lot of pressure closing out this set, and who's going to do the game plan that they have been scouting this entire time?
Another kick save and a beauty. That one by Pedraza. Londa shut down, still alive. Merzick says enough of this. All these fans came to Rec Hall and a soccer match broke out.
Sometimes we like to incorporate different sports in the sport of volleyball, and we love to see the reaction after it as well. Just so much love and passion for such an intense and crazy play, and manage it and score for Jess Merzick.
Eloise Brandowie able to convert.
A very sharp shot as well for a middle to cut the ball off that fast and completely shoot past both blockers is intense and very intentional on her part.
And that freshman coming on strong and trying to thrive and survive her first year at college in the Big Ten volleyball-wise. And how about that? Tooman delivering the ace.
Just when you think a momentum change between Ohio State and Penn State for them to get a lead, that's what I love about these top programs. They don't let a change of momentum change their game. They're going to keep on fighting until the very end.
And that's huge. Penn State, again, gives up the fewest aces in the Big Ten. Less than 1%. And that one floats long. So the side out, Penn State takes the point back in front. 3 away from the set 1 win. Look at the routine for Merzick. Londot aiming line, but pumped it wide. And now Penn State going to the side. Ohio State taking a timeout. Oh, she's going to get swings. Good luck trying to stop her.
And she's going to find a way no matter what, especially against top team Ohio State. She needs to really double down on hitting those smart shots and those smart seams to score for her team.
And you've seen this when you tried to defend her the last few years of your career in Maryland. She can move that kind of arm around and kind of hide where she's going to go, and that makes it challenging for a blocker too.
Yes, exactly. You think that she's going to hit one way, but she's actually going to hit the other. And she really knows how to find underneath your hand and in between your elbows and your forearms. So it's so hard to block that with your arms when you're trying to block with your hands. She knows exactly what she's doing against her defenders.
Now, out of the timeout, Ohio State getting the point, and Chelsea Thorpe picking a fine time for her first kill of the match. It's the Buckeyes, the serve to boot. Londa. Oh, that handcuffed Merzick. Penn State just playing it over. 3-ball chance, Ohio State. And another one there from Thorpe. Timeout, Penn State. Killer work there for the sophomore from Chicago out of Whitney Young. Again, last year didn't play as a freshman, so kind of getting experience. Jen Flynn Oldberg's saying she's been more consistent, but trying to find out who she is now in Big Ten matches. If that's who she is, that's great for Ohio
Right,
State.
we're loving that. But she learned that it just takes reps and experience. She was talking to coach and she was like, why isn't this working? As a young player, it's overall, it just takes time growing into her body. She really does remind me of Maryland, Layla Ivy, and how they just both play very similar in their body type and them just trying to be so intense all the time. But you just have to be a little patient, and she's finding that, and she has great mentors to help her out.
Certainly part of the support system there for Ohio State. Hey, Big Ten Plus delivers thousands of non-televised live events, access to next-day on-demand replays, multi-view to watch up to 4 games at once at a 24/7 channel for your favorite school. There's no plus like home. Subscribe and stream for as low as $9.95 a month at BigTenPlus.com. And the Nittany Lion fans liking the way this was going. And Penn State kind of that slim lead and trading back and forth. And now tied at 23.
We do love to see a lead change constantly instead of a run, because that's how you know that players are really starting to get the point back and get the side out as fast as they can.
Merzik mashing another set point, Nittany Lions.
Just the demeanor overall between both players in both sides of the court is very calm, because it's just the first set. We're just getting started. We have the entire night to go. So let's see who's going to continue to fight for this point.
Tough ball at the net, into the antenna, and Penn State will take it.
To do that, they have focused on their blocking, they've focused on their serving, but I've seen a lot of scrappiness from both sides, so let's see if they're going to get in a fun groove this next set.
Penn State hit 278 opening set, 258 attack percentage there for Ohio State, and the Buckeyes delivering their 3rd block of the match to get things rolling in set 2. And that's a solo stuff for Tumen.
A very fun read as well. You have to really time yourself with the ball and the player in front of you with an overpass, because just like that, there's somebody that's going to hit or try to block. So just be ready for anything.
Pedraza in tight quarters for Merzik. Now there's back set. And that's lifted down the line by Haddock. Londot, straight power. Good dig from Grimes. Merzik's shot off hands. Middle attempt. Randaway tried to stuff it down. Tough angle. Londot, long.
This may just be me, but from my perspective in watching this game right now and how both teams and their style of play, we're seeing a lot of dumps from Penn State. And usually we see that from Ohio State, and to see Ohio State really aiming towards the deep corners. So we're seeing both teams start to feed off of one another this set.
And there's the block. Allie Holland representing Ohio for Penn State. Her fan base will love that.
To block London just feels so good with her hefty arm and how strong she is. And if you have a strong block up, then you're going to know exactly what to do, and it feels so good.
Let's give credit where credit is due. I believe Cameron Hanna was in the mix on that one as well. Either way, Penn State will take it. And now Merzik, another one dug from the back, off hands there for London. Again, hitting in the negative at that point, now has evened it back out. 4 kills, 4 errors on 18 swings. We know she's going to get a ton of looks. What's Penn State doing to make it challenging for her so far?
Yeah, Penn State is trying to focus on actually finding Raider if there's a good pass. So it's very surprising to see London not having an amazing percentage, but she is the star player right now, so we have to make sure that we need to control her so we can control the game.
Cam Hanna able to spank that one down cross court, give her 4 in the kill category, hitting at 273 with a couple of blocks. And accolades for her teammates. Maddie Pilanovic ready to put this one in the air. That was Taylor with first contact, but Penn State took care of it right away.
Really reaching over as well, using her height, just smashing it down. It almost looks like a dunk from my point of view.
Well, the slam there for Holland. Another put away for her, and Penn State by a pair. Londot, again, effectively using hands. We talked about her change. She said when we talked with her a couple of weeks ago, hey, it's been an adjustment for me. I failed in practice trying to figure this out a little bit, so that's kind of taken the pressure off some of the freshmen who've been trying to learn on the job and are going through their failures. Great team leader, and we found out kind of the mom of this group to kind of help guide them along their way.
Yes, we found out she's the mom, and I asked who did she bring under her wing, and Coach Jen said everyone, which is a lot of pressure. So she has her teammates that are actually helping her lead and also using her coaching staff as her support to support her own teammates. It's a lot of pressure as a senior, so she's doing what she can to lead the program.
Londot back to serve. Jen Flynn Olberg was funny. She said, Londot said, I can't look over them all. There's too many. Overpass there off the first contact, and Pedraza will call her own number.
The attack we've been waiting for the entire night. When will Mac dump the ball, and how will she do it? Just waiting patiently and taking her time to find a seam that usually players aren't in. So when a setter is back row like that, they're waiting to set instead of defending. So that's a very smart shot.
And it's one of the things that Katie Schumacher-Cauley and her coaching staff have been kind of pressing Pedraza to do, was attack herself a little bit more. Max said that's something she used to do a lot more in club, not as much last couple of years with all the powerhouse put-away performers on the floor for the Buckeyes. Holland. Cross court there for Murphy. And trying to get that going, Caitlin Hoffman, the freshman that is one of the players Emily Londot's really kind of taken under her wing. Just quite can't save it. Good get from Grimes to start that transition there for Penn State.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of a misconnect and hesitation in the back row. We do trust Ohio State in the front row, but the back row also needs to do its job when there's a touch off the block like that.
Tuman. That was an absolute missile there from Riley Rader off the body of a Nittany Lion. And she'll get credit for her fourth kill. And again, Tuman coming off the ankle issue looks pretty solid. 13 assists, 6 digs, couple of blocks, and an ace. And the freshman here back at her home state out of Swickley, PA, North Allegheny High School, doing good things.
She really loves to feed the middles from wherever she is because she trusts them, and that relationship really does build when you communicate with one another.
And Mac Pedraza made a living off feeding the middles during her Ohio State career. And now how about that heady off-speed play for Merzick, who's having a laugh. This is not what you exactly have for designs out of the back row, right?
No, not at all. But for a tricky, smart shot like that, just to trust that the defense won't get it is awesome. So entertaining to see.
We talked about her hiding her shots. Not a lot of folks expected left-handed tip was coming out of the back row for Merzick. And there's Rader. Her right arm is just fine. And 2 kills in short time to give her 5 overall. And things even again at 7.
Being also from the quick, from the gap, from the slide, so she's everywhere. So if there's a good pass, Penn State was talking about this, if there's a good pass, find Rader. And if they can create a stop, they can build a run and build the lead.
Buckeyes feeling it here in this set. And again, Tuman, we talked about Pedraza and the emotions for her playing her old team. How about Tuman back in her home state here? Again, about 2.5, 3-hour ride from Pittsburgh. 2-time Pennsylvania High School Player of the Year.
Not too far of a drive if you just turn on some tunes.
Pedraza for Hannah. The Buckeyes block. It's in better position. 5 overall, including 3 blocks in this set. There's contact from Pedraza. And that long shot from Hannah, low percentage, and it doesn't go. And the Buckeyes now, multi-point lead.
with balls like that, that's a little bit far behind you. Just your arm work is everything. The timing is everything as well. It's a very offsetting ball. You're used to your body going forward. So as an outside hitting behind you, it's a difficult thing to do.
Tough first contact there from Markley, and an ace on the board for the Buckeyes. Their second. That's Murphy. And the freshman, Coach Jen Flynn Ohnberg, says times played really well, other times kind of played like a freshman. But again, growing on the block, trying to get her hitting more consistent, and the serve's been a weapon. Londot looking for hands, none there.
A very confident call by Londot too, for her to want her coach to challenge while in the lead as well.
Yeah, she turned around right away. Jen Flynn Ohnberg got to pull the green card and use one of her 2 challenges here. Again, you get 2, win it, you keep it, lose the challenge and you lose it, and each team gets an additional challenge in set number 5.
The line judge did not call anything, so we are definitely relying on the camera to see if it was a touch or not.
Tough to see from that angle. The officials have their own set of cameras in the review scenario to work. Michelle Prater doing her diligence right now at the table. Take another look.
We do see a little flicker of the right hand, pinky, and ring finger.
Better eyes than me. Younger eyes than me.
It's the contacts, I promise.
So we'll see, again, if there is conclusive evidence to overturn the call, which was out on the play, if there is a touch.
It's so interesting to see if a player will be honest in the circle if it was a touch or not. So I love to see the reactions of the players after the call, and eye contact with teammates, smirks or not.
It's a challenge, certainly, for officials to decipher, and again, in their estimation, see if there's that conclusive evidence. Londot and Buckeyes taking a little breather here.
Trying to fan herself with the towel in a very interesting way that I've never seen before.
Hey, whatever works. When you're the Big Ten kill leader, you do things differently.
Exactly. If it works, stick with it.
One more look. That's tough to tell.
Very, very tough.
And it would either be the right or the left hand of Markley, or the right hand there, I believe, of Hannah in the middle. And this Buckeyes team, we mentioned Penn State being hot, looking to make it 8 straight wins. Ohio State trying to make it 4 of their last 5. Again, after that just crazy non-conference schedule, where all their losses were to ranked teams, including the likes of Georgia Tech twice, Stanford, Oregon, non-conference, and Cal, at Texas, at Baylor, and then they opened the Big Ten season at Nebraska, and their other loss to Wisconsin. So all their losses are to teams, again, ranked, and a lot of them ranked in the top 10 currently. And you look at the ranked opponents faced this season, Buckeyes and the team we saw last night, Minnesota, lead the league in that category. Penn State too, with half of that duty as far as ranked foes.
So just overall competitive play the teams to compete against top players and prepare yourself for in-conference play, this is the time to do it. And this is when all that preparation through preseason is paying off and getting you ready for hardships and fatigue later in the season.
Again, coaches talking about trying to find out in the non-conference what you need to learn about your team to get ready for what you're going to see here in the heat of Big Ten play. So
the call will
remain here with Penn State, and Ohio State is down a challenge. So the call of the floor is confirmed, and Ohio State down to 1 challenge at least through 4 sets, and you get an extra one should we go to a 5th.
Yes.
So Stark back to serve, junior from Colorado Springs. She was huge last night. 8 kills, 11 digs against Indiana, including 4 in the 4th set. But Penn State can't score off her serve out of that break for the challenge. It's Ohio State that gets the point, and Riley Rader having herself a nice night thus far. How about 6 kills on 8 attacks for a robust .625 hitting percentage?
For Tumen to come later in the match versus Rutgers and then finally be able to start Penn State off connecting with her middles is great to see, and for her to start to work her way to other hitters as well.
And Kamai Gibson, transfer in from West Virginia, did a solid job again coming in off the bench against Wisconsin, leading the team to victory against Maryland, and now kind of led the way through the first 2 set wins on the road last night in Rutgers. Offense sputtered a little bit in the 3rd. They went back to Tumen and were able to finish it out from there and put her back into the starting lineup again tonight. Buckeye block again starting to assert itself, and that's big because Ohio State overall this year less than 2 blocks per set, albeit against good competition. But as you see, Londot up front. In conference play, their 3rd best, 2.7 blocks per set. So they've really gotten onto form, gotten into league play.
They're making their way. They're a very offensive team, so they do want to have a more so of focus with their blocking. Jen Flynn has talked about their improvements and how this season with better eye work. So with eye work is slowing down the game as best you can, reading those in front of you and what they can run in their tendencies. So with young blockers like this, it's hard the first year, but you have to relearn the game and recognize that you can't just go to the outside. It's a learning process to learn all of the players across the board.
Holland with a contact in the net for Penn State. Down the line there for Thorpe off those big swings she had tail end of the first set to keep the Buckeyes close. And now double contact there called against Ohio State. Point to Penn State.
We have seen these past couple seasons that the double has been a lot more lenient with the spin of the ball. So sometimes when refs see the spin of the ball, they think it's a double immediately, but actually it's double touch instead of spin. So sometimes it can have spin, but if ref sees 2 touches, which is a very tiny eye that you can take, but it's very important to see the difference.
Our first call of those in that double contact tonight. Brandowie delivering. Again, 11 kills, just 1 error on 18 swings for her against the Scarlet Knights last night, plus a career-high 7 blocks for the 2nd straight match. You talked about trying to learn blocking and that eye discipline. And trying to learn it in the Big Ten is a huge challenge.
It's a very hard challenge when you have Mac Pedraza across the net from you, and Tumen also in practice with you as well. So you're practicing and playing against top setters and how they can just reverse the flow at any point. You never know where they're going to set when you have players all across the board ready to swing and wanting to swing.
And Jen Flynn Oldenburg, you talked about the eye discipline, said you can't get away with the stuff you used to get away with in high school.
Yes.
No cheating, no looking over.
Exactly.
Especially in this conference, they're too smart. It's like trying to learn astrophysics as a freshman. Coming in here and picking up blocking against the high caliber of competition. Tumen, Nice back set. Thorpe with the adjustment. Out of the back row, Merzick flying, looking for the back corner. Can't find it. Already double-figure kills for Merzick. 9th straight match she's done that, but that's her 6th error. Volleyball on the Big Ten Network is powered by State Farm. Here from Rec Hall, good one brewing as usual between Penn State and Ohio State, both ranked here. And right now, after the Nittany Lions took the first set, 25-23, Ohio State with a now 3-point cushion here in the second set. The Nittany Lions picking up that point with the work up front, out of the timeout.
Markley has really made her mark this set and this season. I'm impressed on how her contribution to the team in attacks is growing, and just her shocked face at times when she scores, like, I actually did that. That's awesome. So she's learning her body and who she is as a player, and she's growing into a great athlete.
You know, Ohio State's offense has picked it up. We mentioned both teams hitting in the 200 range in the opening set. That's continued here in set 2 for Ohio State at 238. But Penn State currently hitting under 100 here in this set. Markley's ball not tracked down, and the sophomore picking up her 5th kill. She's second only behind Merzick thus far in putaways for the Nittany Lions.
So we're seeing a lot of tools. The ball is staying alive, but to keep the ball alive after a touch like that is very difficult because you're ready for the ball to come straight to you. You're sitting down. You're ready for the ball to get shot right to you, but to have it mistouched or to have it in a different direction is hard to read off of.
Off of Pedraza's serve. Joust to the net. Pedraza scrambling up, going back to Markley, trying to ride the hot hand. Murphy. Tough swing for the freshman with a pretty good look. And Hannah with the hammer.
Just to keep the ball alive with number 3 libero in the Penn State, just keeping it alive and doing what she can to give Mac a good, nice high ball, to give her attackers a chance to transition, read the players across the net, and score on that.
And Jillian Grimes, sophomore from Westchester, Illinois, jumping into that starting libero role for Penn State this year. 9 digs, 3 assists thus far. Pedraza on the bump. In rhythm from Markley. And how about that? Ohio State and Murphy, they just watch it drop to open space.
They thought that it was going out, but it seemed to go straight in. Just to, I guess, trust that the ball was going out, but also miscommunication that one or the other person was going to get it. It's a weird play overall, so hopefully they can come back from that.
That's a big point there. Could have made it a 1-point set. Now the lead back to 3 for the Buckeyes. So Pedraza pound the table in front of us. She was miffed that she didn't get there.
I actually love to see an athlete get a little angry, get a little fire in their play. Like, I want this. That was my bad. I should have got that. Next time, I got you.
There's fire in the game of Cameron Hannah. Again, in her career when she started at Clemson, second most kills of any freshman in the country during her first campaign for the Tigers in the ACC. And again, a lot of positives here for Penn State in their first year. How about Londot? Again, a lot of the power stuff hasn't been working, so how about that push to the deep corner?
Yes, a push deep to the corner with your hand. So obviously none of the players across the net could read it. So for her to really fake it till you make it until you're doing it until the last second is so cool. It's hard, honestly, because you have to dump it soft enough so you can place it, but fast enough so nobody can read it.
Executed to perfection. And there's more traditional. Londot launching one directly down. 8 kills now for her. Here in the 5-set win a year ago, she had 16 kills and 5 blocks for the Buckeyes.
Mixing up her shots left and right, and also the speed and the placement of the balls, just keeping everybody on their toes, as she should.
Pedraza tracking back, going to Mercick. Raider able to pass it, but put down. Hannah and Trammell at the ready for another block for Penn State. 4th of the match for the Nittany Lions.
The in-sync of both blockers as well. They know that London has been testing out the blockers' hands and also the defense in the back row. So they read her very well and adjusted on the fly.
And Penn State leads the Big Ten in blocks per set. And just 4 thus far, a little below that average at this juncture. We'll see if that part of the game proves to be large. Nittany Lions need something to kind of turn around, as Ohio State is the first to 20.
If I were across the net from London right now and how she's been just continuing to hit left and right on the shots and her deep shots, maybe focusing on pressing a lot lower to see if she can hit past me instead of trying to block.
Now Mercick, 29th swing of the match for her, unsuccessful. Just hooked it wide down the line. And now a timeout for the Nittany Lions. We'll step aside for the moment. Back to see the conclusion of set 2 coming up. Whole host of teams behind them. How about Maryland, your alma mater, with that win at home against Minnesota last night at 3-2. Buckeyes at 3-2. Michigan State at 3-2 early in conference play. But it feels like there's a clear 2 atop the table, and we'll see if anybody else, including this Penn State team, can be there against the Badgers and the Huskers.
Those matchups are going to be interesting to see them scouting one another over time, building their offense, building their defense, creating that connection, and then finally taking it head on who's the best of the best is going to be so much fun.
Taylor out of that, starting that sequence for Ohio State, and up front there, Penn State block rising up.
Mac felt really good with that block, just keeping her arms super strong. As a setter, you know how to read the players in front of you. You understand the offense, especially for Mac that understands the Ohio State offense. So for her to finally get that block in must feel good.
Setters delivering blocks tonight. And the leaders of the conference starting to ride that portion of their play here to try to come back. And Mercick just couldn't get that last contact over. Big point for the Buckeyes.
For the players to continue to feed the rope after being blocked and then for a ball to almost get blocked. So she's continuing to grow with giving more chances to score. So managing the game well and keeping the ball alive and trusting that her teammates are going to continue to give her a good ball to get that final good shot.
And an ace, Vonda delivering. And watch that one just drop out of the sky. Just her 6th ace of the season. It's a biggie. She's realizing it right there. Timeout with Ohio State, a couple points away from
getting an ace overall is very hard. You have 6 players in front of you that's ready for a ball, and once again, Penn State not really reading the court entirely, thinking that it's going to be out on their home court, but just a little mishap and miscommunication on whether it's in or out.
But again, that's a little eye-opening we touched on before. Penn State allows the fewest aces in the Big Ten. Last night, Iowa, the Big Ten ace leader, only were able to muster 1 against Penn State. Emily Blondot, again, she is a handful to deal with, and now rising up to 9 kills on the night.
For London to just continue to just be a senior and a leader and contribute for her team is lovely to see, and how she's just finding ways to create a better chance for them to create that run. So for her to kill and then to serve and create an ace, it's giving her team so much confidence for her to just finally get in that groove for that second set. First set, wash that under the rug and create a momentum for the third set coming up.
It exceeded the 1,400 kill mark, now top 10 in kills all time, and program history, top 20 in points, block assists, total blocks for her Buckeye career as well. Again, become a primary passer this year too for the first time in her career. Talk about doing it all. She is doing that and then some for this young Buckeye group. Mercick trying to get hot. Woo! Smoke coming off that ball.
I felt a little heat over here. I think it's the smoke.
And leaving no doubt Hoffman did her best, but couldn't get a beat on. And now Mercick trying to string together some points on her own serve. Good dig from Villanova. And that's Markley.
Markley's a very sneaky, silent but deadly player as well. She is always ready for a ball. She's just so energetic, and for her to be patient to give her an opportunity, she's scoring on the balls that she's given and getting a consistency from that. So she's becoming a very trustworthy player.
And that's been an issue. Her hitting percentage under 200 on the year, but over 400 now on the night. And up front, Allie Holland. Stand recognized. Timeout, Buckeyes. They're loving it here at Rec Hall as Penn State has surged back. Looked like Ohio State was going to be able to close it out, but not quite yet.
That's just the dominance of programs like this. You cannot let down no matter the score, whether it's close to 25 or it's 0-0. Just fighting and reading that London is the player to stop. So let's keep on finding a way to create a stop, whether it's a touch off the block, a block itself, or just a defense and getting the ball up and giving your team a chance to score.
And that Penn State block starting to assert itself. 6 apiece for both teams in the block category. 3 straight points for Katie Schumacher-Conley's crew. And we'll see where they go this time around. Again, Mercick, 11 kills on the night. Hannah, Markley each with 6. Travel and Holland 3 apiece. And for Ohio State, Londot 9 to guide the way, a half dozen in the kill category for Riley Rader, 4 for Brandaway, 3 for Thorpe, and a couple for Lauren Murphy. Mercick trying to keep this serve string going. Yeah, the bonus for Penn State transferring over from Michigan this year and another year for her. She's in master's program in business here in Happy Valley. Off speed for the freshman Murphy. Penn State read it. Villanova with a nice gap. Tuman back set. Thorpe into the block. Penn State delivering again with defense.
Crawling their way back up to 23-23, but they are slowly making their way point after point. They just need to continue their defense. Their blocking is phenomenal right now. For them to just use that fast speed of agility and athleticism that they have to read that Thorpe and Londa are the players, so let's go towards them and try to create a stop as best we can.
That 5-point lead is almost entirely gone with 4 straight for the home team. See the work in the back there for Ohio State.
Yes, lots of
Megan McCann, Emily Londot doing some work to dry things on the back line. Get ready for play here. Do you have somebody come out and do that for you? You're not going to squeegee yourself?
I don't trust myself to clean it entirely.
Villanova, another high-quality get here late in the set for Penn State. Thorpe off hands, just like she did tail end of set 1 with moments that matter for the sophomore from Chicago, Jen Flynn-Oldenburg, loving it. And now we'll see if that big play from Thorpe can help lead Ohio State to the set win this time around. State in it.
The mentality right now for both sides of the court is intense. You have to either score to win the set or score to tie it up and give yourself a better chance to win by 2.
Holland trying to extend the set. Off hands, and Penn State running out of room. Raider delivers, and the Buckeyes square the best of 5. Again, all the weird storylines and flipping back and forth. Again, you go back to on court, current day, Mac Pedraza against her old teammates, and it's all tied up into the 3rd set. And Penn State watches Ohio State take the first point.
Just overall, to see the knowledge of amazing players in the past give their wealth and to give their learning experiences to the players now is keeping volleyball alive, keeping the tradition alive, and to understand that this is realistic. It's going to be difficult, but it's realistic as long as you learn from one another and just keep on developing.
Now Jess Merzik picking up where she left off, make it a dozen kills now for her. And again, continuing to power forward for this Buckeye squad. 222 overall hitting percentage for Ohio State, 205 for Penn State to this point. Grimes going back for Merzik. It's Taylor in the back row, keeping it going. Londoc terminated.
A pretty long rally as well. For Londoc to finish that takes a lot of effort for her to be patient and wait and power through. So to see these players just starting to finally get into their groove for the 3rd set and know that they're tied 1-1, this is the time to really double down on taking that net set, getting a good lead for these upcoming sets.
Double-figure kills now for Londoc. Had 20 last night in the win at Rutgers, and Brandaway again becoming more and more of a presence on the block scene for Ohio State, the 6'3" freshman from Columbus.
For Jen to really focus on eye work like we talked about, this is where you can use that practice this entire week and use it against a great offensive team like Penn State.
That's off hands and down. Merzik can make that an art form at times with all of her vast experience.
Vast experience indeed. This is the Big Ten. We have tons of experience, so we're always competing against top players, and in 2022 there will be a new addition to more teams, so there will be more competition, more teams to play, more players to learn from, and just growing the sport overall. Holland shutting down any ball that is coming towards her. She's doing whatever she can to read the set, with Tumen only having a couple sets under her belt. So for her to read and scout well and create that into action is amazing.
And Brandaway can't handle that. Penn State jumping ahead here at 4-3. And we'll see what alterations Katie Schumacher-Cawley, the Nittany Lions, can come up with. Again, despite really starting to implement their normal ferocious block game, Ohio State still finding a way at the tail end of that 2nd set to get things done. Vilanovic, after a little delay there, and short on the shot. 5th service error for Penn State against just one ace. 3-3 in the ace error category to this point for the road team here, Ohio State.
As Penn State in their serving focus is to serve to #1 as soon as they can. She is a player that you really want to test out with their serve receive. So to test that out and to have opportunities like that is special.
Merzick, and so dynamic. It's fun talking to Katie Schumacher-Colley. We talk about transfers coming in, and it's transfers you've seen in conference at Michigan and Ohio State and Pedraza and Merzick. Said, what was it like to look in the transfer portal and see both of those names, and you got them both? Said, don't get players of that quality too often. Nice layout there for the freshman Hoffman for Ohio State. Pedraza working on Markley. Ohio State saying it was off Markley, but the point goes to Penn State. Londot trying to protest that the block hit her on the way out of bounds. Let's see.
Just a competitive rally, and competitive players in the Big Ten, they want these points. They want to focus on playing these teams multiple times and just using any kind of advantage, any disadvantage to their advantage.
Looked like it just squeaked by the body and the hair there of the hitter Markley. Layout from Tooman. And Buckeyes, too many touches. Penn State now seizing the lead by 3.
It did look like Ali was going to set it, because recently with the overpass like that, and it's a little bit off the net, you really have to decide whether you want to hit it or if you want to use it as a pass and give it to your setter. But it also tricked me, so I understand why.
Tooman, big swing from Thorpe, handled by Merzick. Markley just popped that middle deep. Grimes back set. Markley slug, handled by the Buckeyes. And another point here for the Nittany Lions, lengthening the lead to 4. And Jen Flynn Oldberg's picked up the green card. Wants to challenge something on that last play.
It looks like Londot was in her original position, hitting the right side. So trusting our player and taking this time to get a little bit of a break, to recuperate on what's going on, is going to be a good advantage for them.
So they're going to challenge on the call at the net. Yeah, that shot by Londot. Let's see what they've got an opportunity to review.
This may have happened mid-rally, which is pretty common.
Jen Flynn Oldenburg and her team trying to see if they can put another one together. But he kind of relaxed and gotten into the groove and maybe put past. Again, the little drama. Again, not bad blood by any means, but just the weirdness of tonight with Pedraza coming to play her old team. And it's funny. When we talked with Mac a couple of weeks ago and asked her about the move and the transfer, I said, when you get to this match, as we look at the review, and it's going to stay with Penn State.
Mac did also mention that she does finish her season at Ohio State as well.
That's what I was going to say. When I asked her a couple of weeks ago, I said, is it going to be weird when you play for the first time? She goes, you mean October 7th at home? She knew exactly the day it was, and also knew that that final weekend of Big Ten play, she'll be back in Columbus. That will be an even more emotional night, surely, for her. Thorpe showing some emotion to try to fire up the Buckeyes here. At this juncture, getting a little flat there after that surge from Penn State.
She's such a very energetic player. So young, but so happy and so intense. So it's nice to see players that are still keeping that intensity, whether you're down, whether you're up, and just continuing to fight no matter what. The reaction after a play is very important, because that shows your teammates how you're feeling and what you're thinking, to keep the energy high, but not too high, so it's a roller coaster.
Thorpe, another Big cut and another. Milanovic there with the touch. A little frenetic at the net. Played over by Tunic. Markley got roasted. Thorpe right in front. And now Penn State potentially thinking about challenging.
A very intense play from Thorpe. She wants this ball. She wants this rally. She is so intense. And to see just high-level volleyball in action, in person, is so awesome to see.
Well, as a blocker, sometimes you know it's coming. And I think she knew it was coming, and she was ramped up and ready for it.
Yes, I just felt just how she feels to get up in the air. I jumped up a little bit as well, just as a volleyball player, to see another volleyball player, especially a girl with nice little curly hair. It's nice to see someone that also looks like me to do something similar to me. It just feels good overall to watch that.
You see the big reaction there from Thorpe on the block. Yeah, see, there's the similar hair for
A little pro today.
yeah, Raynell Jones. The style and the similar block skills, right?
Exactly. It's just you know, generations pass through. It just works out on its own.
That's good.
Yeah, and the blonde, just a little bit.
Yeah, I don't have the same curliness
That's
going
okay. That's okay.
for you
It
right
must
now.
be
That's
so much
good.
easier for wash day. So.
That's right. Alongside a woman that led the nation in blocks per set last 2 years, finished up her career at Maryland, Raynell Jones, Jason Knapp, and another review for Michelle Prater here at the table. So point going to Ohio State, and Katie Schumacher-Cawley just turned around to Michelle Prater and was like, what's the call?
Very early in this match for a loss of challenges, so people are doing what they can to get some advantage, some momentum towards them.
I think the point is Merzik, that ball, she's saying it went off her foot and they should keep the point going along.
Right.
It was whistled dead, but ultimately believe it was ruled down. So Ohio State with a point. Back to action here. Penn State racing that with the bullet off the arm from Holland.
Not letting a big block determine what you're doing, but to continue to just fight and challenge the ball and challenge the players.
Holland now with 5 kills, getting over 300. Thorpe off the block and into our neighborhood.
I apologize for not blocking the ball. I was drinking water.
Have your skills eroded that quickly from last year?
I did dodge it. My hand was occupied. The hair, it did mess up my makeup a little bit, but I'm okay. Are you okay?
We're all good.
We're good.
We're front and center here for this high quality action. Look at the fight at the net and the freshman smarts there from Murphy to realize she had an open spot on the side. Pedraza upset about something.
Frustration to see Mac. That's just how she plays. She is such a fun player to see when things are going great, but also when things aren't going her way, that's when she really doubles down for her teammates.
We mentioned all the emotions about this renewal for her to play her own team. You know, both sides desperately want to win this match for that very reason. And Thorpe trying to boost the Buckeyes again. Her energy and effectiveness have really loomed large at key spots in this game. Make it 6 kills now for Thorpe.
And you're seeing how players can feed off of energy with one another. Just the first play when it was a big-time play, Thorpe was the only one that celebrated, and now her teammate is celebrating, and then her setter is celebrating, and now the entire squad of Ohio State is celebrating from them just overall learning from how they can build off of a momentum.
3 straight points for the Buckeyes. A couple authored by that energetic young woman in Chelsea Thorpe. Again, working her way to the forefront here for Ohio State. And again, for a team with 2 kind of primary senior leaders in Londot and Rader and a lot of youth and newcomers, try to find some other performers to step into the spotlight. Thorpe looking like she might have the juice to do that. Penn State able to quell things for a moment with the tool of the block.
Just head-on-head between both teams fighting for a run. And Ohio State getting that run to finally tie it up. So now it's even game to get to 25 first.
Pedraza back to serve, 20 assists, a dig away from her 4th double-double of the year. And Thorpe watching Penn State make the miscue into the net.
Obviously, she wanted that really bad for her to grab the net. She wanted that block. She wanted that point. So just moving on from the next, understanding that we're going to get the next one.
8 kills, 3 blocks, and a dig for Thorpe. Markley. She has really risen to the occasion in this one, striking it effectively cross-court. She's a kill away from hitting double figures.
To tool the block from the inside, challenging the hands and the elbows that you see. So if you see a little bit of what we call daylight between 2 blockers, you have to go for it because that's the only time that it's going to be there.
Saw those numbers from Markley, been more elevated in conference play. Katie Schumacher probably talking about her kind of struggling in the non-conference, but finding that form. Last night, 7 kills, maybe not her best percentage. That opened the door from Angelina Stark to do some damage on the road with some, or at least here at home, I should say, against Indiana with some big kills down the stretch. And again, Katie Schumacher colleague will tell you, with the amount of talent on this team, there are a lot of good players that are going to be on the bench. Everybody can't play, and it's those players' abilities to kind of be able to find their games when needed. And Penn State's doing that tonight.
And to be ready at that point. What we learned from Layla Ricks actually last night against Minnesota, she came off the bench later in the match and she contributed, same thing with Thorpe, to give off that energy and create a different momentum and to really inspire your team.
Pedraza looking for Merzick on the outside in a key spot. 2-time first-team All Big Ten hitter can't dial it in.
A very aggressive shot as well. Really trying to use the ball as a tool, but being a little bit too far. So sometimes if the block isn't there, it's difficult to do.
There's the tool executed efficiently, he said, by Taylor Trammell. And Trammell been good when her number has been called. 4 kills on 8 swings, hitting .375. How about 8 ties, 4 lead changes in this set? Rader rising up, and the floater finds the deck.
With middle blockers and just players that are always rotating out, whether you're serving or not, whenever you're going in, you have to find a way to create some sort of score advantage, some sort of benefit. So if you're just constantly going in and not really giving any effort, any touches off the block, or any plays, or any overall just offense, it's hard to really show that you belong on the court. So to see middles constantly contributing is awesome.
Both teams were red hot offensively first set, both well over 200 now, both around 100 here in this set. Been a lot harder to get things done. Both teams asserting themselves defensively. Allie Holland and Penn State tying it up again. Pivotal 3rd set here in the best of 5. Serve from Villanova. Sarah Sue Morbitzer with first contact. And Ohio State able to get it. Tooman and company feeling good here on the road right now. And the Buckeye fans in the house loving it. Well, the final drive presented by Auto Owners Insurance, recaps the entire day of football around the conference tonight, 10:30 Eastern on the Big Ten Network. Well, the Buckeye fans happy with that football win against Maryland, hoping for a Buckeye win on the road here against Penn State, and Chelsea Thorpe doing her part.
She's just contributing overall, not late in the game, but the energy is the time where she really needs to step up and show her teammates that this is a possibility. She has so many players on her team that are able to contribute, so for her to contribute through energy and through the amazing blocks and big swings is great to see.
Thorpe hoping that one was down. Instead, Nittany Lions take it. Even Steven again here, 15 apiece. Merzick. Tuman coming back off the first contact from Hoffman. Londot able to rifle that off the Penn State defense for a key point.
An advantage about Penn State's gym is how far the court goes laterally instead of horizontally, so side to side. So if you send a ball flying back, you can go chase after it and give yourself a chance to score the point and manage the game.
Like a baseball field with a lot of foul ground. You can go run and get it. Not a lot of room to the sides, but deep, there's plenty of real estate. You see Merzick tracking back a little bit to get that one. And in the middle, freshman to freshman. You hear that a lot when you're talking about Ohio State. Tuman for Brandywine.
A surprised look on their faces after that rally, too. It's fun to see freshmen starting to grow and start to enjoy the game, because that's the whole purpose of volleyball, is to enjoy it and to have fun, to be competitive, and to use your ability to your advantage as a D1 athlete.
Tuman with a double-double in 28 assists, 11 digs, 3 blocks, 2 for her. Newman Large at the net. Speaking of blocks, Lauren Murphy stands 6 feet 4 inches tall, and she had that one all by herself.
The quick footwork as well, just the sound of the ball to go straight back down. Such an intense play and a game changer.
Buckeyes with a slight block edge. And no touch there for Penn State, so the Buckeyes tack on another. Eddie Schumacher-Cawley's seen enough time for a timeout. And close sets all the way through. Last set, Penn State rallied to make it interesting. Can they do it again here in set 3? So 19-15. Timeout here for Penn State. See Tuman in there talking a little bit, feeling it with her team. Thorpe, again, we talked about trying to find leaders with a lot of young group. Jen Flynn Oldenburg talked about Mia Tuman in particular. You see the young freshman setter in front of Thorpe, said kind of hard trying to learn what to say, when to say it, and trying to come in to a group. Again, there's a lot of new pieces, but you got established veterans like Londot and Rader. And it comes from family that knows about winning. Their dad, Jeremy, football with Michigan, Super Bowl champion as tight end with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And again, highly decorated out of this state. Certainly a big night for her to come back to the Commonwealth of PA, put on a good show for fans of hers in the crowd and watching here on Big Ten Network. So out of the timeout, See if the Buckeyes can keep this rolling. And the freshman with her 5th double-double of the season. Londot dug up. Pass from Hoffman. Pedraza going to Markley, makes a nice adjustment. Tumit laying out for the dig. Thorpe, overpass. Villanova just lucky to get anything right. And now Thorpe goes wide.
She wanted that. Mixing up shots, just like London. They're learning from each other that you can not only hit cross court, but also down the line into the seams between blocks. So she's trying her best to just find different seams that'll score. Sometimes, if it doesn't work, they're just scouting you really well. So it's okay to try new shots. But Penn State did a really good job of just being patient and taking the ball and really eating it up to keep it alive.
A little stoppage here, trying to get some wetness up. Londot's been kind of mothering the floor a little bit there, trying to keep things dry.
Make sure everyone's okay, so nobody slips or anything.
Serve from Holland. Quick in the middle there, and quicker was Villanova. Read it and got the dig. Thorpe. Shifty there to kind of just flip it through the block.
You're seeing a trend with Thorpe and her just mixing up shots. When you're being fed the ball that many times and you're having players like Penn State in front of you with such great in-seek defense, you have to be able to create different shots. Even if it looks a little weird, roll shots, tips, dumps, and just hitting line and cross is going to find a way to work.
Block there up front. But Penn State takes the point. Ohio State couldn't keep it in play. Markley with that swing. Again, Penn State trying to get a mini run here, just like they did last set, to make things intriguing.
And Markley is the one to do it. She's really testing out the block in front of her. If you see a little bit of space in between the ball and the net and the person, that's a great way to find the court.
Hannah back in for Penn State. Tumit in the middle, running that to Rader. Grimes all over it for the get. How about a pair of Buckeyes down? And Ohio State can't save it. That was Thorpe and libero Caitlin Hoffman kind of intersecting there. Just making sure that everybody's okay. If there wasn't contact between them, it was awfully close.
It was very close. To see them just trying to keep the ball together and alive, it's dangerous sometimes to be on the floor because you're looking at the ball. You're not looking at the players around you or sometimes even where the net is. So just to be cautious and to make sure everyone's okay and safe is important to focus on.
Penn State, 7 service errors now. They can't capitalize on that side out. Sarah Sue Morbitzer back in, serving. Racing back to set it up, but nowhere to go into that double block. Markley and Trammell.
Markley now subbing out, so it's a lot of pressure for Jess Merzick to keep that trend going for the outsides and continue to contribute for their team and hopefully tie it up for this set.
No surprise, these two teams, two of the top 3 in blocks in conference play thus far, each in double figures there. Riley Rader been kind of quiet this set and able to put that one to the floor. 22-19 Ohio State.
Sometimes it's okay to be a little quiet when you have your other teammates scoring amazingly. So she did establish the middles from the very beginning and getting a little break for these next couple points.
Hannah couldn't find a way through. And now, Hannah does get the point there. Off Ohio State and out. So the Nittany Lions do creep a little closer. Londot. Holland got a piece. Brandaway to Raider to open space from the Ohio State middle.
Hitting towards zone 1 is the spot to go to as a middle. Like I said before, the setter is focusing on getting to a set instead of passing it first. That's one thing that I did learn about Max. She wants the set, and there's nothing wrong with that. But hitting to deep zone 1 where the setter isn't anymore is a very smart shot.
Talked about that. You saw a look of regret on Pedrazza's face that she left that spot open and Raider went to it. Big swing there from Merzick. Misses. Set points to work with for the Buckeyes. Timeout, Penn State. For the Buckeyes.
Riley Raider just knows how to dump and find seams. Sometimes it's not a completely hard swing by her. It's more so of a manager. She knows how to really place the ball, read the players in front of her, and understanding that Mac Pedrazza is in front of her, so hitting towards the center is the way to go.
See what the middles have contributed tonight. Again, double-figure kills for Raider. And Brandaway continues to blossom for the Buckeyes, the freshman, with 7 block assists. And now Ohio State with the service ace to seal it and take the 2-1 lead. Strong work from Ohio State. Dropped the first, and they've picked up and picked off Penn State in the next 2. Raider sealing it with the service ace. And Ohio State is set away from a road win for the 2nd year in a row at Penn State. Question is, will it be in 4 or will we go to 5 like we did in both meetings between Ohio State and Penn State a year ago?
Of course we don't want the game to be over already. It's just getting fun. So we're always hoping for a 5th set so the coaches can get their challenges back, of course, and make things a lot more interesting.
Well, certainly interesting in that set. Again, Buckeyes only hit 116, but found a way because they neutralized Penn State. Held the Buckeyes under 100. Penn State hitting just .089 hitting percentage in that set. You see Sydney Taylor gotta laugh that one off after taking a tough one to start set 4.
Giving her all for the very first point of the set.
Start. First serve of the set for Penn State. Vanovic pops it up. Merzick, just a handy little roll. Raider finished off a 3rd set in a flourish for Ohio State with a touch. Londot looking back corner and just missed.
Starting to create this lead, seeing the confidence with the Penn State players. Understanding that the game is not over yet. Wash that one under the rug. Bring it back, just like how Ohio State did last set.
Overpass from Morbitzer. Merzick couldn't finish. Vilanovic again. Been impressive with her work in the back. And that leads to a tremendous kill up front. And the united Penn State team on the floor right now. Merzick gets credit, but how about Vilanovic in the back starting it all?
And to see Jess Merzick and her vertical just being head-on-head with the blockers in front of her.
Londot off hands and out. Buckeyes on the board here in the 4th. Merzick now 16 kills. Saw that stat. 10th time she's had at least 15 in the match, and Londot ticketed that way. Again, the Big Ten kill leader. And close to 5 per set. A little below that number tonight. Vilanovic been busy right now. Closing in on 10 digs for her in the match. Again, working as defensive specialist.
Which is a very difficult job to do, personally. You have to be ready for every ball it's actually a little bit nicer because you have a little bit more time to read the ball compared to a block. So it's interesting to see them pick it up so late, but it's so perfect at times. So it's so cool.
You have an appreciation for a skill set that maybe you don't have as a blocker?
Yes. Oh, yes. If I had to be any other position, I would be a libero. They are just so cool. They get to wear the other color jersey. They just stand out. They always have so much energy. They're just very outgoing and athletic people.
Integral part of the team that led the nation in blocks the last 2 years of Maryland. Raynell Jones alongside me. Jason F. Glad to have you along with our Big Ten Network crew for this compelling stuff from Rec Hall. Always seems to be between these two teams. Two of the 6 teams ranked in the top 25 from the Big Ten that are currently in the conference. See Oregon looming large there at number 5, ready to join the party, along with Washington, USC, and UCLA next year in the Big Ten. And how about that? Stark just kind of rolling it over and right down.
A scrappy play just to keep the ball alive and manage it. It's very difficult to find a spot, but if you think it's going out or if you think the ball isn't going to be as perfect, you can really second guess your players coming from the back row.
Stark again had a big night last night. And coming through there and now up front. Trammell loading up the block.
This is the first block from a wide as well, so Ohio has been killing it on the wide, so Penn State is finally finding a stop to stop their middles and create a momentum towards a more defensive aspect.
And a quick timeout from Ohio State to stop this early momentum. It's
Spring Sacotash.
Like that one.
back here underway at Penn State. First point out of the timeout, and Penn State makes it 5 points in a row in this current surge. Merzik finishing strong at the net.
And finding a lead right now for Stark to keep the ball alive. Such an amazing play. It really inspires the players after you from the ball that I need to score this point because I just had a teammate who hustle played. So this is the time for me to really step up.
Londot trying to go over the block. Can't. Well, the finesse didn't work. Went with the power. That didn't work either. Penn State snags the point.
Just trying to find a way with such athletic players. It's cool to see them try new shots when your offense isn't insanely amazing. So to see Londot try to find a shot in between the blocker's arm and the net is cool.
In this run has put Penn State up by 7, the largest lead of the match. Lead for either squad, and it continues. Trammell. That one teed up for, and she didn't miss.
Trammell's having a little bit of a quiet night, but for her to be available, that's actually what they've been working on recently with Penn State, is to relearn on how to be a middle. So as soon as you block, you have to turn around, sprint to be available, transition, and just to be up for whatever ball and time it out perfectly.
Tuman trying to dump again. Whitney Lyons handled it. And now Londot just works the block. 13th kill for her. Again, she's taken a lot of cuts to get to that point. 49 on the night. Still hitting under 100. It's been a struggle through this dynamic Penn State block, but she's going to keep pounding away.
And just trust her setter overall to give her a good ball for her to try to make a stop out of it.
Tuman laying out again to get it. Thorpe. Merzik cross court wide. And Merzik kind of took an awkward fall there, a little upset with herself.
Punching her leg, maybe.
Yeah, trying to
maybe a cramp.
Yeah,
possibly.
trying to stretch out that left leg. And had a funny look when she came to the team huddle. Watch that. Pedraza goes to the middle of Trammell, and that one too strong. Buckeyes making inroads on this sizable Penn State margin, and Eddie Schumacher-Cawley doesn't want that string to continue, so she'll spend a timeout. Good action at Penn State. It'll continue in a moment. Last two matches have gone to 5 sets. The Buckeyes have had the better of it of late, trying to make it 6 wins in the last 7 tries here against Penn State. Mac Pedraza talking with us about last year's match. She said it was crazy. Remember, she was setting for the road team, and she said the fans were nuts. They got out of there 17-15 to the Buckeyes, prevailing in the 5th. She said it is awesome to have them on my side now.
Yeah, being on the other side versus Penn State it's hard. These environments like this that have them so close to you, and for a student section like this, in a play like this, to just keep the energy up and just to feel like everybody's against you, but now everybody is with her.
Yeah, they were certainly with her at Covelli Center. And Rec Hall, been long established as one of the formidable places to play in the conference, in the country, in Covelli Center, especially that beautiful facility. They pack it, and it has become a challenging place to win at for road teams too. Heard a lot from number 8 lately, but that is kill number 9 of the night for her.
We're seeing a change between players through each set and who's going to get majority of the sets and how successful they are. So they're finding a groove within the first few points on who's going to contribute the most, and Hannah is doing the most kills right now.
Londi. Good get from Hoffman. And cross court from Thorpe. And it's a big hole to climb out of, but can the spunk and finishing abilities of Thorpe help propel Ohio State back here? She's now the 3rd Buckeye to get to double figures in kills on the night. Merzick. It doesn't really count as a swing, but it is the 61st attack of the evening for Jess Merzick, and the 20th to go into the kill column.
And a kill at that.
Feels like she's got all the shots.
She definitely does. She finds seams. She's able to hit above the block, in between the block. She's so fast and so smart with her shot selection. So it's crazy to see somebody who's just killing the ball constantly, and to mix it up at the very last second to dump over the block. It's very tricky to know what Jess is going to do next.
Buckeyes loving their freshman Brandewie and her latest put away. 6 kill for her. Buckeyes, though, down 6 here in this 4th set. Free ball, though, here for Ohio State. Tooman runs the middle, and Rader capitalizing.
Hitting towards the setter, so it's working. Mac did learn from her mistake on moving too far forward, so she stuck her feet. She planted it. She was ready to go, but Rader's just sometimes too good, so it's going to swipe right past her.
Serve error for the Buckeyes. Here's Pedraza. And she said last night, we talked with her pre-match, past serve this morning, put her head on the pillow. Wasn't sure how she was going to feel in this highly anticipated reunion with her old team. Said she was more nervous than she thought this morning. Hasn't played out on the court. She's gotten into the flow of the game. That'll help when your hitters are dialed in. Hannah with another bomb. It's so strange. And Jen Flynn Oldenburg, we asked her today, I said, how does it feel? I said, throughout your career, you've been trying to do nothing but empower Mac Pedraza. And then she said, yeah, and tonight I'm trying to expose her. I said, exactly. Trying to figure that out. But everybody's kind of navigated the moment, and it's just down to the nitty-gritty of Big Ten volleyball right now as they're in the thick of the fight. It's been fun to watch.
Yes, Ohio State feels like they have an advantage because they've been training her for 3 years. They bred her to what she is today, and they have advantages of her little tendencies that they've been trying to correct. So they see the mishap of things that go wrong and go right, so they understand when their momentum is up and down, and that's a big advantage for just the mindset of Ohio State.
It's funny talking with Mac, too, about that. You know their tendencies. They know yours. Then you try to outthink them. They think I'm going to do this, so I'm going to do that. See that all the time when you've got close relations with people, again, facing each other on the floor to try to outthink each other. It just kind of goes down to memory and belief here at this point. Right now, Penn State with that opening surge in this set has gotten some separation, and the Buckeyes never really able to get close, at least to this point. The margin 7 right now. Londot. Well, between her and Merzik tonight, as you would expect, going to get the bulk of the swings. How about, to this point, 114 swings between them?
Wow, so they're feeding their pins. They are the go-to players. I wonder if the defense is going to make a couple changes to stop that.
You know what's expected. It's part of what you're going to see night in, night out from those two. But again, balance. There's 3 players in double figures kills for each team at this juncture in set 4. Stark back in, Mark layout, bouncing along. Why not? She's been strong with 10 of those kills for Penn State. Number 10 back to serve now for the Lions and Stark. Raider. Again, Jen Flynn Oldenburg talks about her saying kind of just a calming presence for her when she's on the floor with her voice. You can kind of see that the way she plays. Her moments when she's involved seem to matter.
Yes, yes. As a middle and as a leader, those moments do matter for younger players like this, and to keep the tradition going of calm demeanor with such high pressure, so many nerves happening during a game.
Yeah, Tuman, she is feisty. And no signs of that ankle. Again, 3 matches ago, her 3rd set against Wisconsin, missed last weekend against Maryland, came back in mid-match last night. She looks raring to go, an assist away from 40 on the night. 13 digs and that big joust move.
That's one thing about outsides. If the ball is out of system, they're going to feed them. And that's why we see that they have so many attempts, because if the ball is out of system, sometimes you can't set a middle or you can't set a right side. But if you have a trustworthy outside, just feed them a ball and they're going to handle it as best they can.
Yeah, Merzik just went after it and got it and made something happen. That's when you know you're elite. Londot couldn't find the floor inbounds. And Penn State, again, like it's been doing the majority of this set, trending towards the victory here in the 4th. Eighth error of the night from the service line for Penn State, but not really any here in this set. And again, part of the reason they've been able to play pretty clean and rocket their way in front, hitting 333 to 138 at this point in set 4 for the Buckeyes. You know what's going right when Stark's smoking balls from the back row.
And the ball being shot all the way to the exit. The ball has left the gym.
And she was massive in the 5th set last night. Pressed to the wall by Steve Aird and a good Indiana Hoosier team were the Nittany Lions. Katie Schumacher-Cawley appreciative of Stark taking a different role, but more of a passer this year. But when summoned, she rose up and delivered some key hits last night and did it again there. Pedraza lefty hit. Mercick. Cross court from Thorpe, and yes, you see the emphatic fist pump. That is down.
A great shot as well. It's so hard to hit balls like that. Challenging the block and the defense in the back row with the libero. And I don't know if you could tell, but the previous point before this, Jess and Londot were against each other with her being back on the right side. So they're going back to their old ways and trying to really perfect what they used to do.
Hannah, great read. And thrusting that one down on the floor.
Just placing the ball, finding a way, finding a spot where nobody is.
Not a ton of blocks in this set for either team up front. But Penn State, again, having the better of it.
As players evolve and get better over time, it's way harder to block them because they're recognizing that blocks now are important.
Hard two.
Defense as well.
Yeah, hard two when you get an overpass. Barkley didn't miss. And Penn State, on a night where the first 3 sets were close and competitive, maybe on the way to winning a laugher here in set number 4 and set the stage for another 5-set finish between the Buckeyes and the Nittany Lions. And that's what they're hoping for, Rick Hall. Timeout here, and time to check in on number 2 Nebraska on the road at Michigan. And how about the Wolverines here, leading at home? Middle portion of this opening set, again available right now on the Fox Sports app. We'll get you out there to Ann Arbor right after the conclusion of this one here in Happy Valley. And it looked like it might be a bit if Penn State holds on here and sends us to a 5th. But we'll see if Michigan can keep this going against unbeaten Nebraska, second-ranked team in the country.
With the beautiful pink tape as well during October Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Staying festive. A couple players here on the Penn State roster have their pink bow ties. A couple fans in the crowd.
And it's been a kind of rebuild mode, at least at this point for Michigan with the coaching change. But Aaron Virtue and the coaching staff of Michigan got something dialed up right now. So they're threatening to make some noise in that opening set against the Cornhuskers.
Everybody wants a piece. They get so competitive against such a awesome team.
Some of these powerhouse programs like a Wisconsin, like a Nebraska, kind of like the Super Bowl every night. Everybody wants to take you down. Penn State certainly felt that throughout its program history.
Yes.
Iowa State kind of felt that a little bit last year, too. They were flying high with that group that made it all the way to the regional final and put a scare to Wisconsin down the stretch before falling in 5 right now. And Penn State just handling its business here in the 4th.
Closing out this set as best they can, recognizing the players across the net and who to serve to and who to defend against, and relearning and understanding their tendencies.
And best hitting number to this point in a set for Penn State, close to 400. Scramble there, Grimes plays it over. Thorpe going off speed, and do we have somebody into the net? Yes, we do. Iowa State will take it. Yep. They both go in?
It seems like they may have tripped each other up a little bit, but very into the net.
And a little work in the back corner there and some of that wetness.
Maybe a coach Dove left a sweat mark. Staying in the action.
Orbitzer. Over the outside to Murphy. And the freshman in Ohio State, if they don't get something back, just trying to build offensively. Under 200 hitting-wise here in this set.
Yes,
Fourth kill of the night for the freshman.
We could definitely see that trickle over into the next set. Getting so close to the fifth set, this is when the momentum starts to change and your dynamic between the ball in the game and the outcome is going to be very hard, but I think they could do it.
Jen Flynn Olberg with a big smile towards her team. With the sense they're a little relaxed here. Maybe a little more pressure on Penn State to defend its home floor, especially with this young bunch from the Buckeyes. This would be a nice win in their cap. And Rader trying to lead the way with another rocket.
She's so patient off of her slide on the 1 foot. She just waits for the ball. She lets the ball travel to her, and then she cuts it off at the very last second.
How hard is it to be patient on that play?
With the middle, you want to be so fast because you think that it's going to happen so quickly, but with the slide, you have to wait. It's like a basketball layup, just timing yourself out, but also having somebody give you a ball. So for basketball, you have the ball in your hand, you just dribble and go up. For volleyball, you have to wait for your teammate to give it to you. So timing is absolutely everything.
Get a look here at Michigan. Getting a nice crowd checking things out in Ann Arbor. Against the second-ranked Cornhuskers, that one to follow once we're through here on Big Ten Network. Again, available right now on the Fox Sports app. And again, the Chrysler Center tonight, again, welcoming second-ranked team in the country and having a nice attendance showing. Look at the hitting numbers. How about that as we sneak a peek at the graphic there from that one. Michigan outdoing its number. Minnesota well under its normal output from its high-octane offense. And Huskers get one back there to pull within 3. But good stuff going on there. Again, available on the Fox Sports app. And that one on standby. Chris Foster's Emily Eamon will have the call once we are completed here in Penn State. Couple points away from getting us to a 5th, but Ohio State's been pesky here, not going down without a fight here in the 4th.
They have been fighting back. They want to get that momentum, and with such a great offensive team, you have to just swing away at this point.
And a missed swing there, missed time from Tooman trying to go to Rader in the middle. And a rare hiccup. Again, the middles have been super on point for the Buckeyes. Speaking of point, set point now, Penn State.
I'm very curious to see if they set her again, to see if they run the same offense to make up for it.
Vilanovic. That's just a touch long. 1 ace against 9 errors now, a ratio that won't please Katie Schumacher-Colley. More set points here available for Penn State. Second crack to end the 4th. Tough first contact from Grimes. Vilanovic ran it down. One dot offhand. Markley. Overpass. Where's Pedraza go? Markley down the line and wide.
They're competitive this play. Just pass, set, hit, pass, set, hit. They're so clean during this rally. So they're doing whatever they can to just go back to basics and make things as simple as possible. And possibly a tool on the block, but this could be the point.
Will the 3rd time be the charm? Not yet, says Caitlin Hoffman. Super dig for her. And Ohio State keeps coming. Big block.
They're determined just to see the motivation with these girls and how they're not willing to give up. To realize that Barkley right now is a great offensive player during this set, so to read her and wait for her and time her out perfectly is so impactful.
That's long from Ohio State, and that's how it ends. When Penn State and Ohio State need, he should just say sets for 5, because it feels like it's always going to go 5, and here we go again. Londot trying to go down the line, pushing that one there. It's wide. Penn State strikes first here in the decider. Hope you've been enjoying it tonight on Big Ten Network. And Michigan, Nebraska just underway in Ann Arbor. Keep you abreast of that. Get you out there immediately following the conclusion of this one. There's Londot. Squares things up at 1 apiece. All right, what in your mind becomes important when you get to a 5th set?
To understand that, for me, it's more of benchmarks. So to get to 5, then to 10, and then to 15, or to get to 5 and then 8, and then you get to switch sides and then work your way up from there. So it's more so of getting as many points before the other team, of course, to win the set, but keeping a calm demeanor is very important.
Well, we know what Londot can do on the offensive end, and they're very imposing with that 6'3" frame defensively to give the Buckeyes the lead.
Both teams with this match so athletic, so tall, so smart with their volleyball IQ. So it's really just a typical Big Ten volleyball match to see amazing top players of the nation competing against each other on a regular Saturday night.
Set error there, or serve error, I should say, for Raider. Again, makes things 2 up. Trammell back in for Penn State. Hoffman into the back row as the libero for Ohio State. And Londot finding hands. No surprise, Ohio State gonna ride its horse. I loved it. Before a match against Wisconsin this year, Kelly Sheffield, head coach of the Badgers, said she's an aircraft carrier. There's a lot of weaponry there in the game of Londot.
Tools in the toolbox, for sure. And building off of it each year as well. I keep seeing new swings that I've never seen before. It's just working so well.
Mersick, Hoffman, nice dig. Cross court there for Londot, not going to get them all. Hannah up off the bench, coming back in for Bilanovic. 3 apiece here for Penn State and Ohio State. And Pedraza. Surely thought about this moment. And coming back against her old team, and it goes 5. Shutdown block, Taylor Trammell.
So much energy. With this 5th set, this is the time where you can either be an offensive threat or a defensive threat. And for Trammell to really shut down the cross court from Throp, scoring the entire night is so important.
Nittany Lions inching back ahead. Pedraza pops it into the net.
This is definitely the time to make as little mistakes as possible because you have so many less points than you do in the previous sets.
Londot in her rhythm. Pedraza going to Trammell. And they got the call there against Thorpe at the net.
Making that benchmark that we talked about, getting to 5. So hopefully Ohio State can get to that 5 and tie it up evenly. But little mistakes like that, like serving into the net or even hitting the net, is definitely a big factor to show the youth and just the human of who players are.
Tuman, high back set for Thorpe. Rhymes scampering up to put it up for Hannah. Overpass Buckeyes. How about the free ball, Penn State? Pedraza kind of trapped with her footwork there. And it didn't get a ton on that one. And the block out of bounds. Buckeyes knot us up at 5.
Almost there. With a block like that, you have to be sure going to the left is that your body movement is with your non-dominant side if you're not a lefty. So you really have to press over with your left side and finish through and over-exaggerate that to make sure that the ball is going back into the court instead of out.
Short serve there from Hoffman. Grimes ready for it. Tooman, ball handling error called against the freshman setter for the Buckeyes.
If I'm correct, this may be the second double of the night, so just youthfulness, learning for Truman.
Grimes patiently waiting to set it. Markley cross court, Tooman. Londot skying from the back row. Bumped up there from Hoffman, but a massive Penn State block.
They did the exact same thing, but corrected the mistake as before, turning the ball back into the court, almost out, but with a person in front of you, it's hard to move out the way. So a mistake and a learned experience.
Thorpe couldn't evade the ball coming back down. Penn State will take it. Dig from Grimes. Merzick trying to find the hole in the defense. Hannah wanted the back line, couldn't find it. And Ohio State right there here with Penn State. 1 point separation. Last year took extended points in the 5th set. Buckeyes won it 17-15. Serve from Orbitzer. Markley just squeaking that in that narrow little window down the line.
A very off-speed shot as well. Those are so hard to read because you think the ball is going to be flying at you or either a roll or a tip, but a ball that is a speed that you can't control, not even rolling her hands, but just letting it fall into the court is so impressive.
Penn State gets to 8, and team switch ends. Again, we know both
different teams at the top and different teams taking down so many upsets. So it's exciting to see overall all programs are improving.
And 5 of the 8 losses for Ohio State are against top 8 ranked teams currently, including 1, 2, 3, and 5. So Jen Flynn Oldberg hoping that the lessons learned from those battles. And she talked about, you get a few points in sets here and there, and maybe you steal 1 or 2 of those. But now they've got the opportunity to maybe steal this on the road against this ranked team, number 14 Penn State. Couple of lead changes, 5 ties. Buckeyes hoping for more of those coming up as they work from 2 behind. Little scramble, Tooman. Calmly going back set to Murphy. Her tight angle cross-court effort is wide.
A very quiet night for Murphy. Such a tall player, so for her to make these mistakes so late in the game is an adjustment to make, and just to be able to trust the court and trust your teammate to give you a good ball. So this is a time for them to really double down after this timeout.
Again, both teams a little nervy here in this set. Penn State, 2 kills, 2 errors. Ohio State so far in this set, 3 kills, 5 errors hitting in the negative. You see set 2 underway, and for John Cook in Nebraska, as we documented, Huskers, one of those teams, going to have a target on their back night in, night out in the bigger venue there, Chrysler Arena in Michigan. Large crowd, Wolverines fired up, extending Nebraska. We'll see if the Huskers get into their kind of normal form or if the Wolverines can keep this rolling.
It seems like in the first set they had a really good run, and for Nebraska to 29, that shows they're willing to fight, and Nebraska is also willing to fight more for them to win by 2. So it's so exciting for the audience, and as a see the score go 5.
You gotta believe Michigan out-hit Nebraska in that opening set. At least they're above them now early here in set 2, 270 to 255. And Nebraska trying to get on point, again looking to stay perfect and run the mark to 15 to go. Again, available now on the Fox Sports app and following us after we decide this one from Rec Hall. That's coming up on Big Ten Network. Jason Brainell-Jones, glad for you spending a large portion of the last nearly 3 hours with us. Again, compelling stuff between these two rivals. And that one well off the mark. Penn State in striking distance of victory.
And imagine those 3 hours being spent moving and playing and having to stay focused the entire match. That's one thing about college athletics. You have so much of your body and your mind being put into the sport. It's a lifestyle.
Tumen shouts to the net. Penn State gets the call. Not sure if that's a ball handling error there at the net.
With the setter being live, it's hard as an undersized setter to win a joust, but also getting the ball a little bit off the net. But you can probably tell that with the pass trying to get on the net to have all of your offense available. So it's difficult for the first pass, but also a hard joust to win.
Merzik, all her work on the offensive end. How about the defense from her, triggering that put away from Markley? Timeout, Ohio State.
We're starting to see from Ohio State eyes wandering to look for who's going to be that leader. Some self-doubt that Penn State is starting to put into their mind. And just overall hustle play from each of the players and really using everything they have in the fuel and just let it all go.
Kitty Schumacher-Cauley talking about Jess Merzik, just a great 6 rotation player. Don't see a ton of those anymore, and delivering there defensively.
For the Nittany Lions, I've always been curious. I couldn't ask before because I was their opponents, but now I'm curious to see the mindset of different programs and what they do to get out of bundles like this or when they have a lead like this. It's so simple. You're a great player, so play great. So simple versus let's do this, this, and that. Overcomplicate things. Just keep volleyball simple as it looks like it is at times.
After tailing the Wolverines for a majority of the first set, Nebraska mashing the gas pedal here at the start of set 2. Make it a 6-point lead right now. Again, available live right now on the Fox Sports app. Chris Foster's Emily Eamon will have the call coming up. Potentially 3 points away if they're all in favor of Penn State. Markley, roll shot. That's one of them. And you're wondering who's going to become the dominant second performer for Penn State. I think the Nittany Lions hope you don't know who that's going to be. Against Minnesota was Taylor Trammell. It's been Cam Hanna at times. Tonight it's been Alexa Markley.
So overall, a very well-balanced offense for each match they're playing in the Big Ten.
15 kills for Markley. Allie Holland rising up for her 7th. Match point Nittany Lions.
And it seems like Mac Pedraza is having a word with the ref.
Yeah, she's trying to keep everybody pumped down right now. And this surge here from Penn State towards potential victory. Murphy extending us a little longer. Again, we've seen Ohio State a couple of times tonight make things interesting.
They do. They always do. Get a little bit of confidence, get a crazy ball, inspire them, turn it into something great.
Service error caps it, and Penn State rushing the floor, and their setter as the new Nittany